Listen, good evening. I'm going to get straight to the point. Listen, these are 7 times that you should not date. Okay. If one of these seven hits you, these 7 things that I'm going to explain hits you, you probably should think twice about dating or being ready to date anyone. There are some times when we shouldn't date. Okay. Especially if you're a woman listening to this right here. The men video, I'll do it later on, but this is for women. These are the times that you should not be dating anyone. Let's get into it. Number one, if you don't know what you want, you shouldn't be dating because you might fall for everything that feels good. You might fall for anyone that feels good, looks good, sounds good, have this, have money, have this. You have to know what you want because only in knowing what you want, you can connect to it. And that's when you can recognize it. But if you're just out there in the wind, it's like going car shopping or house shopping without knowing what you want. Then when you get it, you realize later on it's not what you want because that's just it looked good. Maybe it was shiny in that moment. Listen, you must know what you want first. Many of you don't know what you want because, a matter of fact, when I ask many women, what do you want in a partner? And me being a coach, a dating coach or a relationship coach, one thing that I ask, what do you want? What do you look for? But the first thing that women usually tell me is what they don't want. I don't want somebody who's liar. I don't want somebody who's a cheater. I don't want somebody who is abusive. I'm not asking you what you want. When God is asking you, but when you're asking God for something, you tell God what you want. You don't tell God what you don't want. Because if you tell him what you don't want, it doesn't work. Okay. So, number one, know what you want. If you don't know what you want, don't date yet. Or if you date, it's to just figure out what you like. So, date multiple people just to see what you like. Okay. So, I would tell this to young people. If you're dating and you don't know what you want, it is okay to date multiple people to figure out what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you're going to be stuck. Number two, do not date if you are still holding on to people in your past, from past relationships, past people who have hurt you. And many times when I say when you are holding on to these things, a lot of us are holding on to people with these emotions. Remember, emotions are a bridge from you to a person or you to a past experience. When you feel the emotion, the event or the trauma or the person is still there, right? Because you are connecting from with you and the person or with you and the past using your emotions. So if you still have those emotions, those bitterness and anger and resentment for these people, you're not ready yet because you're still holding on to these people. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes you won't meet good people, but I'm saying you're going to be carrying somebody in your spirit. At all times when you have these emotions, you're going to be carrying somebody in your spirit. So when you meet someone else, a lot of times that person is going to talk to them. That energy that you have is going to go off on them. Understand, we have to release these people first. Release these connection to these people by paying attention to your emotions. If the emotion is no longer needed, get rid of the emotion and choose a different emotion. Listen, if somebody who have hurt you and lied to you on this in the past, if you are not, if that person is no longer in your life, you shouldn't have those same feelings and emotions. Because if I can feel my eyes getting swollen without nobody punching me today, then something is disconnected. See, if you can still hold on to these feelings and those emotions when nobody is there in your life causing you to feel these things, then sometimes you have to realize healing is necessary. That means you haven't healed yet. So I'm saying if you haven't healed yet, you are still connected and attached to those persons who have hurt you. And when you try to mess with someone else, a matter of fact, another reason why you should not date or try to date with this same connection to people is that since you have those anger and resentment still, remember, you attract what you are. You attract these things that you carry. So what happens is that those emotions become dominant in your life. They become very strong. And this is what goes out and attract people in your life because remember, the universe gives you what you feel. It matches your experience. It doesn't give you a better experience. It matches your experience. So if you're walking around every day with anger and resentment in your heart, then it gives you a person in return that keeps those same energies there and present. So if you are experiencing resentment and anger and bitterness from your last couple relationships, listen, don't try to date because you're gonna keep meeting that same person again. Okay. Number three, don't date if you are not secure in yourself. If you are not secure in yourself, you're gonna be off. You're gonna always meet people who are gonna be messing with you. You're gonna always ask people, or you're gonna always meet people who are gonna make you feel even more insecure. Because remember, if you are on the inside insecure, the people that you're going to attract, based on my last point, what you're going to attract is people who keep you in the same vibration. So if you're not secure in yourself, if you're not confident and comfortable in yourself, people are going to always throw you off based on sometimes their actions. You're going to think it's about you. You're going to think that it's because of you and this and all this guilt and all these shame is going to come back. Okay, you're going to always assume that everything is about you. If they cheat, if they lie, if they go this, if they talk to a woman, you're going to always feel insecure. So understand this. I want you to understand based on where you are at. Again, the universe only matches your frequency. Now, I'm not saying if you are insecure that you won't ever meet somebody who is great. You might. It's a possibility, but there's a better chance if you are secure. There's a better chance of you meeting somebody who's secure too, because you are looking from a different angle. You are experiencing life from a different angle. You know what I'm saying? You're not uncomfortable. You're not insecure. You're not fearful. So therefore, what you see is more clarity. Remember, what you carry is how you see things. And how you see things, it affects your self-worth and what you attract to you. So you have to understand, if you're not secure in yourself, you might break easily. You're gonna attract things and people to make you feel more insecure about who you are. Okay? Number four, don't date, and this is a very important one. Don't date if you still have those limited beliefs. Clear those belief systems up. Reprogram your subconscious mind. Reprogram your mind. Those limited beliefs about there's no good men, all the men are in heaven, ain't no men out there, and all these men are liars and cheaters. If you have those belief systems, do not try to date, because all you are doing, remember, when you have those thoughts, if you think all men are liars and all men are cheaters and all men are dogs, what happens? Your thoughts becomes your reality. So you're going to create a world with those lies and cheaters where you can notice them, because if you keep speaking about them, you keep talking about them and thinking about them, only those guys will be into you, because that's what you are doing. You are waking them up. So you're going to always relate to those liars and cheaters, because that's where your focus goes. Listen, wherever my attention goes, my energy flows. If my energy is flowing to those people, right, and those liars and cheaters, those people would expand. So therefore, it looks like it's a lot more. It looks like it's a lot more there because it expands. Wherever my thought goes, it expands. Your world expands with those people. So understand, you can only choose between those people. So you're going to try to choose the best one amongst the most evil. So understand this. Understand this. If you still have those limited beliefs, cancel those things out. Reprogram. Begin to affirm all those limited beliefs. Change the way how you think and see men. Change the way how you see people and relationships. And I promise you, after a while, when you see something differently, you can connect to it differently. So therefore, the ones who are drawn to you will be those that you desire. Okay, but if you think everybody lies and cheats, that's what you're gonna meet. By the way, that rhymes. All right. So number five, don't date if your heart isn't open. Don't date if your heart isn't open. Many of us, our hearts ain't open because we are scared to get it hurt. We are afraid. We still hurt from the last person. We are still afraid, scared to death, because we think that if we close our hearts, we will protect our hearts. You cannot protect your heart by living like you don't have one. You cannot protect your heart by pretending like you don't have one. The only way to protect your heart is to love and open your heart. See, many of us, if you don't open your heart, you lack discernment. Your intuition is kind of weak. You also lack boundaries. Understand, you lack understanding. Your heart plays a huge role in what you attract. Your heart plays a huge role in who comes to you. Your heart plays a big role in love and romantic and relationships and friendship. It plays a huge role. And many of you are leading with your hearts closed. So therefore, who you're going to meet? People with their hearts closed too. People who just want to play with you. People who you just want to play with. Understand, if you are trying to date and your heart is closed, you're going to find people to keep it closed. You're going to find everybody in this world who's going to keep it closed. Why? Because that's just what it is. When it's closed, it doesn't have that power. It doesn't have that vision. It doesn't have that discernment. It doesn't see. who is right and who is wrong. It doesn't see, all it sees is fear. All it sees is threats. Everybody's a threat. Everybody looks scary. Everybody will hurt you. So therefore, you keep choosing the one who's going to hurt you because that's, again, that's your limited belief. If you have your heart closed, do not try to date. Be careful. Open your heart. Don't be afraid. If your heart is closed, I'm telling you, it's pointless. If your heart is closed, it even affects you, the way how you see yourself, the way how you feel, your vibration. It affects the way how you live. So therefore, you can only meet such a certain person. So you gotta kill that stuff, open your heart, and take the risk of loving. Love is not a risk. It's just what you are. You are not a risk. You are just amazing human being here on this planet. So stop being afraid and open your heart up. I don't know how we live with our hearts closed anyways. There's nothing there. There's no peace. There's no happiness. There's no joy. Open up your heart. Okay. Number six, don't date if you are unhappy or miserable in your life. Do not date if you are unhappy or miserable in your life. It's not worth it. Because if you're unhappy, if you don't know where you're at, if you're not happy with where you're at, if you are always anxious, always this, always scared, who you're gonna meet is just like you. Who you're gonna meet is somebody who is just like you, somebody who keeps you in those vibrations. What you're gonna depend on is emotions and feelings. See, when you live in that space of unhappy and miserable, you're gonna see somebody who will live, who looks like they are lighting up. They're gonna have high energy, right? Not high frequency, but high energy. And it's gonna confuse you because they can make you smile, they can make you feel, they can make you laugh, they can make you, but that's not what you want. You want somebody who can keep you stable. You want somebody who can give you love. See, just because somebody is like high energy or hyper energy doesn't mean that they have a higher frequency. It's two different things. Please understand if you are miserable or unhappy, all right, or in while you are single, you're gonna be miserable and unhappy in a relationship because you have to find peace with you. You have to be at peace with yourself. You have to be at peace with where you're at. And if you're not happy, no matter who you find, you cannot change that. People don't make you happy. People don't bring that. That's not people's job or obligations or duty to bring you happiness and to remove your misery. That's yours. So do this right now. If you are single, do this right now. Start doing that. Start clearing up. Do the things that you love. Do the things that bring a smile to your own face. And when you begin to do that, right, the people that you meet can't take it away. So when they leave, they can't change that. So therefore, you will be less fearful to bring people in because if they didn't make you happy, then they can't piss you off or they can't make you unhappy. If they didn't make you or if they didn't erase your misery, then they can't take it away when they leave. So we have to learn and we have to understand when you become happy and love and joyful by yourself, you have to learn that nobody could take it away. So therefore, you'll be more open-minded. You won't be scared to choose the wrong one and all these things because you understand, even if it doesn't work, I'm perfectly fine still because you met me this way. So don't choose somebody or don't date people while you are unhappy or miserable. And lastly, don't lastly for right now, part one. Lastly, before I go to the last one, please thank you for subscribing and thank you for becoming a member. Um, if you haven't seen us yet, we meet every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do all this stuff like healing and book clubs, and we read certain books and understanding, and we grow it. So, if you want to become a member, please just click on the link in the description and become a member. You won't be disappointed. All right. Thank you for my current members. Thank you for my subscribers. And if you don't want to, it's okay too. I understand. Just make sure you subscribe to this channel. I appreciate you guys. So lastly, don't date. This is a very important one. Do not date somebody if you have a victim mentality. If you feel like you're a victim, if you feel like everybody abuse you, everybody cheats on you, everybody hates you, everybody will always not like you, everybody will always turn on you. If you have that mentality, don't date. Because I'm telling you right now, a victim looks for a victimizer. And it's not consciously, it's unconsciously. You're going to want somebody to make you hold on to that feeling. You're going to want, and it's very, again, it's very unconsciously. And the victimizer looks for the victim. See, listen, ain't nothing more attractive to a narcissist or to a victimizer than a victim. You turn them on because that's when they can do the most damage. That's when they can be themselves. And you are being yourself too because you are a victim. Listen, you have to step out of it. If you have those visions about yourself being a victim, man, listen, don't take, relax. Because most people will take advantage of it. And that's, to be honest, it sounds bad, but that's a lot of times it's human nature. You make it easy so to walk over you. You make it so easy to disrespect you. And I'm not blaming the victim, but I'm saying to get out of it. Learn when that you are, we learn when you are not appreciated. Learn when you are not valued. And you have to know this because this is your life. But if you have that mentality, don't date. Fix that first. Change that first. Okay. So these are seven things that if 7 times that you shouldn't be dating. 7 times. Take this advice. I promise you, this means a lot. This is based on understanding relationships and dating. Certain energies. It's just sometimes people are just people, but understand that you have a contribution to things that happen to you in your life. You got to see what you contribute to your own issues or your own problems or your own demise. You have to see what you contribute. These are 7 things that we contribute to relationships. So if we carry in these 7 things, make sure you fix these things on a daily. See, when you are single, this is time to fix these things. And don't get me wrong, sometimes everything won't be fixed, but at least you are working on them continuously. You are. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day. I see you guys soon. Bye.